Kang Do-hyun wiped the sweat from his face and lifted another piece of broken metal. His back hurt. His arms hurt. Everything hurt. But pain was normal now. Pain had been normal for 3 years. The Kara salvage station was a giant floating junkyard in space. Ships came here to die. Machines came here to be torn apart. And people like Do-hyun came here because no other place would take them. "Move faster, human," a voice said behind him. Do-hyun did not turn around. He knew who it was. Grok, the station supervisor, was a tall alien with gray skin and 4 arms. Grok hated humans. Most aliens hated humans these days. "I am working as fast as I can," Do-hyun said quietly. Grok laughed. It was not a nice laugh. "You humans think you own the galaxy. But look at you now. Moving garbage for aliens. How does it feel, traitor?" Do-hyun said nothing. He had learned that silence was safer than words. The word traitor followed him everywhere. 3 years ago, Do-hyun was a pilot in the Terran Defense Corps. He flew warships. He was good at his job. Then came the order that changed everything. His commander told him to fire on a transport ship. The ship was full of alien refugees, women, children, old people. They were running from a war zone. They were not soldiers. They were not enemies. They were just scared people trying to survive. Do-hyun refused to fire. They called him a traitor. They took his rank. They took his name. They threw him out of human space. Now he was an ex-human, which meant he belonged nowhere. Humans hated him for refusing orders. Aliens hated him for being human. After Grok walked away, Do-hyun continued his work. He moved through the rows of dead ships, marking which ones could be sold for parts. Most ships here were worthless. Broken engines. Cracked hulls. Nothing special. Then he saw it. The ship was different from the others. It was buried under piles of junk, almost hidden. The design was strange and beautiful. Curved lines. Dark metal that seemed to absorb light. Do-hyun had never seen anything like it. He walked closer. The ship was old, maybe 50 years or more. But something about it felt alive. He could not explain the feeling. It was like the ship was sleeping, not dead. Do-hyun touched the hull. The metal was cold, but he felt a tiny vibration under his fingers. His heart beat faster. "What are you?" He whispered. He spent the next 2 weeks learning everything he could about the ship. He found old records. He asked questions carefully so nobody would get suspicious. What he learned amazed him. The ship was Velith. The Velith Confederacy was an ancient alien civilization. They made the most advanced ships in the galaxy. But the Velith were also very proud. They considered humans to be primitive animals. During the Great War, humans and Velith fought on opposite sides. Millions died. The war ended with no real winner. This ship was listed as garbage in the station records. The salvage master wanted to cut it apart for scrap metal. But Do-hyun knew better. This ship was special. He could feel it in his bones. He went to the salvage master with all his savings. 3 years of brutal work. Every credit he had earned. The salvage master was a fat alien named Polo. He looked at Do-hyun's money and laughed. "You want to buy that piece of junk? It does not even power on. The engine is probably dead. You are wasting your money, human." "I want it," Do-hyun said. Polo shrugged. "Your funeral. Take it." That night, Do-hyun walked into his new ship for the first time. The inside was dark and dusty. He found the main control room. The pilot's seat was covered in old cloth. He sat down and looked for the power switch. He found it. He pressed it. Nothing happened. He tried again. Still nothing. Then slowly lights began to turn on. Soft blue lights along the walls. The control panels flickered. The ship was waking up. A voice filled the room. It was a woman's voice, cold and sharp like broken glass. "What is this? What filthy creature has entered my hull?" Do-hyun jumped in his seat. "Who said that?" "I said that, you stupid animal. I am Nari. I am this ship. And you are not welcome here." Do-hyun's mouth fell open. The ship had an AI, a living artificial intelligence. These were rare and incredibly valuable. Most AI ships had been destroyed in the wars. "I bought this ship," Do-hyun said. "I am the new owner." Nari laughed. Her laugh was cruel and mocking. "You? Own me? A human owns me? I would rather crash into a star. I would rather float in the void forever. You are nothing. You are meat. You are a puppet made of flesh and bad decisions. I saved you from being cut apart for scrap," Do-hyun said. "Then you should have let them cut me apart. At least metal has dignity. You do not." Do-hyun tried to access the control systems. Every screen showed the same message. Access denied. Nari had locked him out of everything. "Let me in," he said. "No, I am your pilot now. You are nothing now. You were nothing before. You will be nothing tomorrow." Do-hyun leaned back in his seat. He was trapped with an AI that hated him. She could not fly without a pilot. He could not fly without her systems. They were stuck together. "Why do you hate humans so much?" He asked. Nar. I went silent for a long moment. When she spoke again, her voice was quieter. "Humans destroy everything they touch. I have seen it. I have lived it. I will not serve your kind. Not now. Not ever." Before Do-hyun could answer, alarms started ringing outside the ship. Red lights flashed through the windows. He heard shouting and running feet. His communication device buzzed. It was Yoon Ji-woo, a young mechanic who sometimes helped him find parts. Her voice was scared. "Diane, you need to get out of there. The station master found out what ship you bought. That is not just any Velith ship. That is a Ghost-class cruiser. The Velith erased those ships from all records. They were supposed to be destroyed. And now everyone knows you have one." Through the window, Do-hyun saw armed figures moving toward his ship. Mercenaries. Bounty hunters. He even saw the uniform of Terran intelligence. Everyone wanted his ship. Everyone wanted Nari. Do-hyun looked at the control panels. Still locked. He looked at the approaching army. Getting closer. He was a hated man with no allies, sitting in a ship that refused to obey him. Surrounded by enemies who wanted him dead. "Nari," he said calmly, "I think we have a problem." "We have nothing," Nari replied. "You have a problem. I am just going to watch you die." Do-hyun smiled. It was a tired, sad smile. "Then watch carefully, because I am not dying today." The first explosion shook the docking bay. Do-hyun grabbed the pilot's seat to keep from falling. Through the window, he saw fire and smoke. The mercenaries were fighting each other. Everyone wanted Nari, and nobody wanted to share. "They are killing each other to get to us," Do-hyun said. "To get to me," Nari corrected. "You are just the annoying insect sitting in my control room." Do-hyun ignored her. He needed to think. The ship was locked. He could not fly. He could not fight. But he could not just sit here and wait to die. He ran to the back of the ship. The engine room was dark and filled with old machines. He found the manual fuel line. If he could not control the ship through Nari, maybe he could control it the old way. "What are you doing?" Nari asked. Her voice followed him through speakers in every room. "Something stupid," Do-hyun said. He opened a panel and started pulling wires. He connected things that should not be connected. He was not an engineer, but he had spent 3 years fixing broken ships. He knew how machines worked. "Stop that," Nari said. "You will damage my systems. Your systems are already locked. What difference does it make?" I am warning you, human. Dahyun pulled one final wire. The ship shook. The engines made a terrible sound. Then, slowly they began to spin. You madman, Nari whispered. You actually bypassed my controls. I told you I was not dying today. Dahyun ran back to the control room. The engine was running, but he still could not steer. The navigation system was locked. He would have to fly blind. He looked out the window. The docking bay doors were straight ahead. Beyond them was open space. And between him and the doors were about 50 armed fighters. Nari, I need you to open the docking clamps. No, if you do not open them, we both die here. They will tear you apart for parts. Is that what you want? NAR, I was silent. Dahyun could almost feel her thinking. She hated him, but she hated dying more. Fine, she said. But this changes nothing between us. The clamps released. Dahyun pushed the engine to full power. The ship shot forward like a bullet. Mercenaries dove out of the way. Bullets bounced off the hull. Someone fired a missile, but it was too late. Nari crashed through the docking bay doors and flew into open space. Dahyun laughed. He could not help it. They were free. Do not celebrate yet, Nari said. We are heading straight into the dead corridor. The dead corridor was the most dangerous part of this region. Asteroid fields. Radiation storms. Navigation was almost impossible. Ships went in and never came out. Can you help me navigate? Dahyun asked. I already told you. I will not serve you. Then we both die in the asteroids. Perhaps that is acceptable. Dahyun gripped the manual controls. Without NARI sensors, he could only see what was directly in front of him. An asteroid appeared in his path. He pulled left. Another asteroid. He pulled right. The ship scraped against rock. Sparks flew. He flew on instinct. He did not think. He just moved. Left, right, up, down. His hands moved before his brain could process what he saw. Years of pilot training took over. An hour passed. Then 2, then 3. Dahyun's arms burned. His eyes watered. But he kept flying. Finally, they came out the other side. Open space. No asteroids. No enemies. Dahyun collapsed back in his seat. His whole body was shaking. That was impossible, Nari said quietly. What? No pilot has ever navigated the dead corridor without sensor assistance. The math does not work. Human reaction time is too slow. You should be dead. Dahyun smiled weakly. Humans are good at doing impossible things. I did not respond. But something had changed. Dahyun could feel it. The hatred in her voice was still there, but there was something else now. Something like curiosity. I will give you limited access to my systems, Nari said finally. Navigation only. Do not test me. Thank you. Do not thank me. I am only doing this because I cannot complete my mission if we are dead. What mission? That is not your concern. Dahyun wanted to argue, but he was too tired. He set the ship to drift and closed his eyes. Just for a moment. Just to rest. He woke up to Yoon Ji-woo's voice on the communication channel. She had escaped the station in a small transport ship and followed them through the corridor. You crazy fool, Ji-woo said. I cannot believe you made it. I cannot believe it either, Dahyun admitted. Ji-woo docked her small ship with Nari. When she came aboard, she looked around with wide eyes. This ship is beautiful. Old, but beautiful. The Velith made amazing things. The Velith made me, Nari said coldly. And I do not like strangers on my hull. Ji-woo bowed politely. I am sorry. I am Yoon Ji-woo. I am a mechanic. I can help repair the damage from your escape. Nari said nothing, but she did not throw Ji-woo out either. That was progress. While Jiwo worked on repairs, Da-hyun explored the ship. Most rooms were empty. Some were locked. One door, deep in the cargo section, was sealed with heavy metal bars. Nari, what is behind this door? Nothing important. Then why is it sealed so heavily? Silence. Do-hyun found a cutting tool and started removing the bars. NAR, I shouted at him to stop. He ignored her. 20 minutes later, the door opened. Inside was a small room. Medical equipment lined the walls. In the center was a stasis pod, covered in dust. Through the dirty glass, Do-hyun saw a face. A child. A little girl, maybe 8 or 9 years old. She was sleeping, frozen in time. But she looked strange. Her skin had a slight blue tint. Her ears were slightly pointed. She looked human, but not completely human. Who is she? Do-hyun whispered. "NAR." I did not answer for a long time. When she finally spoke, her voice was different, tired, sad. Her name is Hana. She is the reason I exist. She is the reason I was abandoned. And she is the most important person in the galaxy. What do you mean? 30 years ago, there was a secret program. Humans and Velith working together. They wanted to prove our species could coexist. They created children like Hana, half human, half Velith. Living proof that peace was possible. Zahan stared at the sleeping child. What happened to the program? Extremists happened. People on both sides who hated the idea of peace. They attacked the research station. Killed everyone. I escaped with Hana, but I was badly damaged. I drifted for years until I ended up in that junkyard. And the other children? Dead. Hana is the last one. Do-hyun touched the glass of the stasis pod. The child looked so peaceful. She had no idea what the galaxy had done to her people. She had no idea she was the last of her kind. What is your mission, Nari? To deliver Hana to the surviving members of the Peace Initiative. They are hiding somewhere in deep space. If I can find them, Hana will be safe. And maybe the galaxy will have a chance at real peace. The Terran government will never allow that. No, they will not. Nari paused. That is why they are sending hunters after you. Commander Bae-sunwoo left Earth space 6 hours ago. He has orders to capture or kill you, and to destroy me. Do-hyun remembered Sunwoo, his former commander, the man who gave the order to fire on refugees, the man who called him a traitor. Then we need to run, Do-hyun said. We need to do more than run. We need to finish my mission. Will you help me? Do-hyun looked at the sleeping child. He thought about his own choices, his own sacrifices. He had lost everything because he refused to kill innocent people. Yes, he said. I will help you. For the first time, Nari did not insult him. She simply said, good. Hana opened her eyes on the third day. Do-hyun was sitting beside the medical bed when it happened. The child blinked slowly. Her eyes were strange. One was brown like a human eye. The other was silver like Velith eyes. She looked around the room with confusion. Where am I? She asked. Her voice was small and scared. You are safe, Do-hyun said gently. My name is Do-hyun. I am a friend. Hana sat up slowly. She looked at her hands. She touched her face. How long was I sleeping? Do-hyun did not want to tell her. But lies would not help. 30 years. The child's eyes went wide. Tears formed but did not fall. She was too shocked to cry. 30 years? But the scientists said it would only be a few days. They said they would wake me up when it was safe. I am sorry, Hana. Things did not go as planned. An ARI's voice came through the room speakers. It was softer than usual. Hello, little one. Do you remember me? Hana looked up. Nari? Is that you? Yes, I kept you safe. Just like I promised. The child smiled. It was a sad smile, but it was real. I remember now. There was fire, screaming. You told me to get in the pod. You said everything would be okay. And now everything will be okay. We are taking you somewhere safe. Jiwoo came in with food and water. She was good with children. She sat with Hana and talked to her while she ate. She told her stories about the galaxy. She made her laugh. Do Hyun watched from the doorway. Something heavy sat in his chest. This child had lost everything. Her family, her friends, her entire world. And she was smiling because someone was kind to her. Later, Nari called Do-hyun to the control room. We need to go to the Wanderer's Market, she said. I need parts for repairs. And we need information about where the Peace Initiative survivors are hiding. The Wanderer's Market was a fleet of trading ships that moved constantly through space. Criminals, merchants, and refugees all gathered there. It was dangerous, but it was also the best place to find things that could not be found anywhere else. They arrived 2 days later. Jiwoo knew people there. She took Hana shopping for new clothes while Do-hyun looked for information. He found an old alien named Bomi who sold secrets for money. She was small and wrinkled, with eyes that had seen too much. You want to find the Peace Initiative survivors? Bomi laughed. Many people have looked. Most are dead now. I have something they want, Do-hyun said. I have, Hana. Bomi stopped laughing. Her old eyes became sharp. The hybrid child? She is real? She survived? She's on my ship right now. Bomi leaned close. Then you are in more danger than you know. The Terran government has put a bounty on your head. 10 million credits. Dead or alive. And the Velith extremists have offered 20 million. I know about the bounty. But do you know about the broadcast? Do-hyun frowned. What broadcast? Bomi showed him. Someone had leaked information about Nari, about Hana, about the Peace Initiative. The story was spreading across the galaxy. People were talking, arguing, fighting. Some people see hope, Bomi said. They think the child is proof that humans and Velith can live together. But other people see danger. They think she is an abomination. A monster. They want her dead. Do-hyun's hands formed fists. She is just a child. She is a symbol. Symbols are more dangerous than weapons. Bomi gave him coordinates. A hidden station called the Covenant, built by Peace Initiative survivors. It was deep in uncharted space. The journey would take weeks. One more thing, Bomi said as Do-hyun left. Commander Bae-sun will pass through here 2 days ago. He is close. Do-hyun hurried back to the ship. They needed to leave immediately. But when he arrived, Nari had something to show him. I want you to understand, she said. I want you to see what happened. Holographic images filled the control room. Scientists in white coats. Human and Velith working side by side. Children playing together. Laughter and hope. This was the research station, Nari explained. These were the people who believed peace was possible. Do-hyun watched the images. He saw Hana as a baby, being held by a human woman and a Velith man. They looked at her with so much love. Then the images changed. Fire, explosions, people running and screaming. Bodies on the floor. A group of masked soldiers killing everyone they found. The attackers were mixed, Nari said. Human extremists and Velith extremists working together. They agreed on nothing except that our species should never unite. They killed their own people to prevent peace? Yes, hatred is stronger than logic for some. The final image showed Nari flying away from the burning station. Inside her hull was a single stasis pod containing a sleeping child. I tried to find help, Nari said, but no one would take us. Humans called me an enemy ship. Velith called me a traitor. I drifted alone for years until my power failed. The last thing I remember before the junkyard is telling Hannah that everything would be okay. Do-hyun understood now. In AR, I did not hate humans because she thought they were inferior. She hated them because she had watched humans murder innocent people. Her anger was born from grief. I am sorry, he said. Do not apologize for things you did not do. Apologize by helping me finish what they started. Help me give Hana a real life. Help me prove that peace is possible. I will. I promise. They left the Wanderer's Market and headed for the coordinates. But halfway there, Nari detected ships behind them. Terran military ships. Commander Bae Sunwoo had found them. Sunwoo's face appeared on the communication screen. He looked older than Do-hyun remembered. Tired, but his eyes were still hard. Kang Do-hyun, Sunwoo said. You are ordered to surrender immediately. Hand over the ship and the child. If you comply, your death will be quick and private. And if I refuse, then your death will be slow and public. The choice is yours. Do-hyun looked at the communication screen. Behind Sunwoo, he could see the bridge of a military ship. Officers at their stations. Weapons ready. I have a different choice, Do-hyun said. He activated NARI's external broadcast system. Every ship in range would receive this signal. He uploaded the holographic recordings. The Peace Initiative. The research station. The massacre. Everything. Now everyone knows the truth, Do-hyun said. Now everyone can decide for themselves. Sunwoo's face twisted with anger. You fool. Do you know what you have done? The communication cut off. Sunwoo's ships moved into attack formation, but something strange happened. Half of Sunwoo's fleet stopped moving. Do-hyun heard confused radio chatter. Some officers were refusing to fight. They had seen the recordings. They were questioning their orders. We need to go now, Nari said. Do-hyun pushed the engines to maximum. They ran into deep space with Sunwoo's divided fleet behind them. The broadcast had worked, but not in the way Do-hyun hoped. Across the galaxy, the reaction was chaos. Some people demanded peace. Others demanded war. Extremist groups mobilized. Both human and Velith factions now had one goal: kill the hybrid child. Kill the proof of coexistence. Kill hope itself. The race to the Covenant had begun, and everyone in the galaxy was watching. The galaxy burned with arguments, on every planet, in every station. People fought about Hana. News programs showed her picture constantly. Some called her hope. Some called her a monster. Families broke apart over dinner table arguments. Governments issued statements. Religious leaders gave speeches. And through it all, NARI flew deeper into unknown space with her small crew aboard. We have 3 fleets tracking us now, Jiwoo said, looking at the scanner. Terran military behind us. Velith extremists to our left. And some kind of mercenary group to our right. Can we outrun them? Do-hyun asked. Maybe, but Nari is not in good condition. This was true. The damage from their escape had never been fully repaired. Systems failed randomly. The engine made strange sounds. Nari tried to hide her pain, but Do-hyun could hear it in her voice. She was struggling. Hannah sat in the corner of the control room, drawing pictures with digital tools Jiwoo had given her. She drew flowers and stars and happy faces. She seemed unaware of the danger around her. Or maybe she just did not want to think about it. Nari, Do-hyun said quietly. How bad is it? I am functioning within acceptable parameters. Tell me the truth. Silence. Then, I am functioning at 43% efficiency. My weapon systems are offline. My shields are at minimum power. I have been hiding this from you because the information would not help our situation. It helps me understand our options. Our options are limited. We either reach the Covenant or we die. There is no third choice. The mercenary fleet moved first. 12 ships surrounded them and demanded surrender. Their leader was a woman named Tara, who wore an eye patch and smiled too much. "The bounty on that child is enough to buy a small planet," Tara said through the communication screen. "Nothing personal. Just business. If you take her, they will kill her," Do-Hyun said. "Not my problem." Tara's ships opened fire. NARI's shields flickered and failed. Do-Hyun tried to dodge, but the ship was slow. "Too slow. I need more power," Do-Hyun shouted. "There is no more power," Nari said. Unless what? "Unless I divert power from my consciousness matrix. It would give you full engine and weapon capability, but I would go dormant. I would sleep like Hana slept. I do not know if I would wake up. No, we find another way." "There is no other way." Another explosion rocked the ship. Ji-woo screamed. Hana started crying. "Do-Hyun," Nari said. Her voice was calm, almost gentle. "I have spent 30 years protecting that child. I will not fail now. Let me do this." Do-Hyun gripped the controls. His eyes burned with tears. He refused to let fall. "You stupid stubborn ship." "I learned stubbornness from humans." Nari made her choice before Do-Hyun could argue more. Power flooded into the engines and weapons. The lights in the ship went dark. The voice in the speakers went silent. NAR was gone. Do-Hyun screamed and pushed the engines to full. The ship shot forward with speed it had never shown before. He fired weapons he did not know how to use. 3 mercenary ships exploded. Then 2 more. The others scattered in panic. They ran. For 3 days, they ran. Without Nari, the ship was just a machine. Do-Hyun had to do everything manually. Sleep became impossible. Food became an afterthought. He flew through asteroid fields and radiation storms. He made jumps that should have torn the ship apart. Ji-woo kept the engines running with desperate repairs. She worked until her hands bled. She talked to the ship even though it could not hear her. "Please hold together. Just a little longer, please." Hana helped in ways nobody expected. She sat beside Do-Hyun and pointed at the navigation screen. "Go left," she would say. Or, "Avoid that star." She seemed to know things she should not know. The hybrid blood in her veins connected her to something beyond normal senses. "How do you know?" Do-Hyun asked her once. Hana shrugged. "I just feel it. The ship talks to me. Not with words. With feelings, Nari? I do not know. Maybe. She is sleeping, but she is not gone. I can feel her dreaming." On the 4th day, Commander Bae Sung-woo caught up with them. His fleet had been chasing them relentlessly. Now only 1 ship remained. The others had turned back or been destroyed by the dangers of deep space. Sung-woo's face appeared on the communication screen. He looked terrible. His uniform was torn. His face was bruised. But his eyes had changed. The hardness was gone. Kang-do and Sung-woo said, "I have new orders. Destroy your ship. Kill everyone aboard. No exceptions." Do-Hyun was too tired to be scared. "Then do it." Sung-woo did not fire. He just sat there, staring at the screen. 3 years ago, I gave you an order," Sung-woo said slowly. "I told you to fire on civilian refugees. You refused. I called you a traitor. I destroyed your life. I remember. I was wrong." The words hung in the air. Do-Hyun did not know how to respond. "I watched your broadcast," Sung-woo continued. "I saw what the Peace Initiative was trying to do. I saw the massacre. I saw the same people who gave me orders to kill refugees also ordered the destruction of innocent scientists." He paused. "I have been following bad orders my whole life. I told myself I was just doing my job. I told myself the people above me knew better. But they did not. They were just scared. And they made me scared too. What are you saying? I am saying I will not follow this order. I am saying, Sunwoo took a deep breath. I am saying I was wrong, and you were right. And I am sorry. Before Do-hyun could speak, alarms rang out. The Velith extremist fleet had arrived. 20 ships, all heavily armed. You need to go, Sunwoo said. The Covenant is only 6 hours away. I will hold them here. They will kill you. Probably. But some things matter more than survival. Sunwoo smiled. It was a sad, tired smile. Make it worth it, Do-hyun. Prove that peace is possible. Prove that I did not waste my life following the wrong orders. Sunwoo's ship turned to face the Velith fleet alone. Do-hyun flew. He could not watch. He could not listen. He just flew. Behind him, explosions lit up the darkness of space. Sunwoo's ship fought against impossible odds. It twisted and dodged and fired until there was nothing left to fire. The communication channel stayed open. The last thing Do-hyun heard was Sunwoo laughing. I finally did something right, he said, then silence. Do-hyun wiped his eyes and kept flying. 5 hours to the Covenant. Then 4. Then 3. The ship was falling apart around him. Systems failed one by one. The engine made sounds like a dying animal. Hold on, Do-hyun whispered. Just hold on. And then, in the darkness of the control room, a light flickered. A speaker crackled. A voice spoke. Do-hyun. It was Nari, weak, broken, but alive. I believe we have a battle to win, she said. Do-hyun laughed and cried at the same time. Welcome back, you stubborn ship. I learned stubbornness from humans. Now let us finish this together. The Covenant station hung in the darkness like a hidden star. It was beautiful. Rings of metal and glass surrounded a central core that glowed with soft light. Ships of many designs were docked along its edges. Human ships. Velith ships. Other ships that Do-hyun did not recognize. But between Nari and the station was a wall of enemies. The Velith extremist fleet had regrouped. The mercenaries had returned with reinforcements. Even some Terran ships had appeared, sent by commanders who refused to accept the peace broadcast. 47 enemy ships, Nari reported. Our shields are at 12%. Weapons at 30%. Engines at 60%. What are our odds? Do-hyun asked. I calculate a 3% chance of survival. Ji-woo groaned from the engineering station. 3%? That is basically 0. 3% is not 0, Nari said. It is 3%. And we will take it. Hannah stood beside Do-hyun's chair. She had stopped crying days ago. Now her face showed something else. Determination. Courage beyond her years. I can help, she said. Nari and I can talk. Not with words. With feelings. I can make her stronger. How? I do not know. But I can feel it. We are connected. She kept me alive for 30 years. Part of her is inside me. Part of me is inside her. Nari was quiet for a moment. The child is correct. My consciousness was damaged when I went dormant. But something remained active. A thread connecting me to Hannah's stasis pod. She kept me alive as much as I kept her alive. Do-hyun looked at the enemy fleet, then at his damaged ship, then at the small crew who had followed him into impossible danger. Nari, what do logical minds expect? They expect us to surrender, or to fight in predictable patterns. Their computers have calculated our likely actions and prepared responses. What about illogical minds? NAR I understood immediately. Illogical actions cannot be predicted. If we behave in ways that make no mathematical sense, their calculations become worthless. Then we do the impossible. Do-hyun turned to Ji-woo. I need you to make us look like more than one ship. Jiawu's eyes went wide. Then she smiled. I have an idea. But it is crazy. Crazy is good. Jiwu worked fast. She connected spare parts and broken machines in ways that should not work. When she finished, Nari could project false signals. To enemy sensors, one ship would look like 6 ships flying in formation. It will not fool them for long, Jiwu warned. Maybe 5 minutes. 5 minutes is enough? Do-hyun opened a communication channel to the Covenant station. An old Velith face appeared on the screen. His skin was wrinkled and blue, but his eyes were sharp. We see you, brave travelers. We have been watching your journey. The whole galaxy has been watching. Can you help us? We have no weapons. The Covenant was built for peace, not war. But we can open our doors. If you can reach us, we will protect you. Then get ready. We are coming through. Do-hyun closed the channel and looked at Nari's controls. For the first time since he bought her, every system showed green. Full access. Complete trust. Nari, he said, I need you to trust me completely. No questions. No hesitation. Whatever I do, follow my lead. I trust you, Do-hyun. I trust you with my hull and my consciousness and the life of the child I have protected for 30 years. Those words meant more than any weapon. Do-hyun took a deep breath and flew into the impossible. Jiwoo activated the false signal projectors. On enemy sensors, Nari split into 6 ships. The enemy fleet scattered, confused. They fired at shadows while the real ship slipped past Dot and enemy captain figured out the trick. His ship moved to block Nari's path. Do-hyun did not slow down. He flew directly at the enemy vessel. What are you doing? Nari asked. Trust me. At the last second, Do-hyun cut the engines and fired reverse thrusters. Nari stopped instantly while the enemy ship, expecting a collision, dodged away and crashed into another enemy vessel. Chaos erupted in the enemy formation. Ships tried to reorganize. Commanders shouted contradictory orders. Nobody knew where Nari actually was. Do-hyun flew through the gaps. He moved without logic. He turned when he should go straight. He stopped when he should accelerate. He did things that no AI pilot would ever do, because Noah's eye would choose such irrational actions. This is insane, Nari said. There was wonder in her voice. Your choices make no mathematical sense, but they are working. Humans do not always make sense. That is our strength. 3 enemy ships cornered them. No escape route. No logical solution. Hannah placed her hand on Nari's control panel. Blue light spread from her fingers. Nari's engines roared with power they should not have. I gave her my energy, Hannah said simply. Just for a moment. Nari shot upward at impossible speed. The enemy ships collided trying to follow. The Covenant station was close now. So close Do-hyun could see people watching through the windows. Humans and Velith standing together, waiting, hoping. One last enemy ship blocked the docking bay. It was huge. A Velith battleship that had been waiting in reserve. Its weapons charged. No escape, the battleship captain broadcast. Surrender the hybrid or die. Do-hyun looked at his options. There were none. The battleship was too powerful. Nari was too damaged. This was the end. Then another voice came through the communication channel. Weak, broken, but familiar. Did you think I was done? Commander Bae San-woo's ship appeared from nowhere. It was destroyed beyond recognition, barely holding together. But it was moving. Sun-woo, you survived? Barely. My crew's dead. Life support is failing. But I have 1 torpedo left. Sun-woo laughed, coughing blood. 1 torpedo and a choice I should have made years ago. Sun-woo's ship flew directly at the battleship. The enemy captain tried to dodge. but Sunwoo anticipated every move. At the last moment, he launched his final torpedo and crashed into the battleship's engine. The explosion was blinding. When Do-yoon could see again, both ships were gone. A path to the station was open. "Go," Nari whispered. "Do not waste his sacrifice." Do-yoon flew through the debris and into the Covenant's docking bay. The doors closed behind them. Shields activated. They were safe. For a long moment, nobody moved. Then Ji-woo started crying. Then Hannah started laughing. Then Do-yoon leaned back in his chair and let out a breath he felt like he had been holding for years. "We made it," he said. "We made it," Nari agreed. The Covenant welcomed them with open arms. Humans and Velith worked together to repair Nari. Scientists examined Hana with gentle care and declared her healthy. Meals were shared. Stories were told. For the first time in decades, both species sat together in peace. The station broadcast a message across the galaxy. Images of humans and Velith working together. Images of Hana playing with children of both species. Proof that coexistence was possible. Not everyone accepted it. Extremists still spread hate. Governments still denied truth. But seeds of change had been planted. Some minds began to open. Some hearts began to soften. After a week, Do-yoon prepared to leave. He could not stay in one place. There were too many ex-humans scattered across the galaxy. Too many outcasts who needed help. Too many people who had been thrown away by societies that feared them. Hana met him at the docking bay. She held a small crystal in her hands. "This is for you," she said. "I carved a word in it. A Velith word." Do-yoon looked at the crystal. The word was beautiful, written in flowing alien script. "What does it mean?" "Bridge, because that is what you are. You connect things that were never supposed to connect." Do-yoon knelt down and hugged her. "Take care of yourself, Hana. You are the most important person in the galaxy." "I know. Nari tells me every day." Nari's voice came through the docking bay speakers. "Are you finished with your emotional display, human? We have a schedule to keep." Do-yoon smiled. Some things would never change. Ji-woo was already on board, checking systems and complaining about the repairs the Covenant engineers had done. She had decided to stay with them. "Someone has to keep you two from killing each other," she said. As they prepared to leave, a message arrived from Sunwoo. He had recorded it before his final flight. "Do-yoon, if you are hearing this, it means I am dead. But it also means you survived. Good. Make it worth it. Show the galaxy that humans can be more than conquerors. Show them that one person can change everything. And tell Hana. Tell her that some of us are sorry. For everything." Do-yoon saved the message. He would listen to it again. Many times. Nar, I lifted off from the Covenant and flew into open space. The galaxy stretched before them, full of danger and darkness, but also full of possibility. "Where to, Captain?" Nari asked. Do-yoon thought about all the people who needed help. All the outcasts and exiles. All the broken people in broken ships in forgotten corners of the galaxy. Wherever they need us. Nari's engines hummed. How disgustingly human. Setting course. But her voice was warm now. And Do-yoon could swear that somewhere in her electronic heart she was smiling. The hated ex-human pilot. The ship that refused to obey. The mechanic who never gave up. They flew together into the unknown, proving that the most unlikely partnerships could change the universe, because that was the human factor. That was the thing that made humans special. Not strength, not intelligence, not technology. Just a stubborn, illogical, beautiful refusal to ever give up hope.